I thought this was funny. I appreciate you guys coming aboard. Don't forget, Philly Godfather will join us at 5:30 Eastern, and a friend of his who's putting together a movie. You guys got to hear this. Big Sills is going to be in a movie based in Philly. Okay, I'm gonna be like Rocky. Yo, Adrian, I don't. You think I could do it? I'm gonna play some South Philly like Italian biker. What do you think? How you doing? Right? You think I could do it? You think I could do it? How you doing? Hey, Sills, do you like the Eagles? Great team to cover, dude. Ty, you know what's great about covering your Eagles? You. Dude, you get the fans are what make that team. Yo, Adrian, how you doing? Forget about it. Get out. See, I gotta forget about it. It's funny. Before I move on here. So, like, my wife's she's from Texas, right? How about this, Joey? So my wife's from Texas. She meets my Italian grandfather, right? And my grandfather's like this. He goes, my wife goes like this. Hey, Mr. Sileo, we're gonna go to the we're gonna go to Stu Leonard's, and we're gonna go. You need anything? We're fixing to go. My grandfather goes like this. What's fixing? It's like, forget about it. It's like fixing. Yeah, we're fixing to go to the store. It's like a redneck thing. I don't know. People, I go, Dad, what do you think? People know what forget about it is? Oh, man. Right? Forget about it. Hey, real quick, before I get on to the top defenses in the NFL, I got a comment to you about Dak and Jalen. Hey, Tony, you can go to the bathroom after this one here. Hey, you can go to the bathroom here in a minute. Stugat. Thank you, Barbara. Very good. Stugats. Majogats. Yeah, right? Yeah, it's all good. So I'm going to be playing. We're going to be playing a role in a movie, and it's going to be based in Philly. How you doing? Okay. Anyway, so I saw this here, man. The National Basketball Players Association is pissed off that the Magic gave a loan, or not a loan, but a contribution to Governor DeSantis in Florida. They said it's alarming. Why is it alarming? They don't have a right to give political contributions to who you see fit or do business with? What's your problem with it? Once again, professional teams and people sticking their nose in where that's none of your business. Okay? It's none of your business who you believe in. And by the way, I'm not stumping for DeSantis. I don't give a shit about him either. I'm not, but you have a right to donate whoever you want to without having anyone out you on it and thinking that you're going to make people feel guilty about it. What a bunch of assholes. The NBA Players Association basically went after the Magic because they gave a $50,000 contribution to Ron DeSantis. So they don't have a right to do that? Hey, you don't want to work in the league? Don't. If you're a business owner, you have a right to do whatever you want. Religion, to believe in anything you want. Any platform, even if it's hokey. That's the problem with this country. You got too many people trying to get their nose in your business and try to make you feel guilty about it. Hey, this is what I say to you, man. F you. Don't tell me who to believe in. Don't tell me what to donate to. You have no right to do that. But professional sports leagues think they can pressure people into doing it. Again, Ron DeSantis has got a lot of wacky ideas. And I'm not saying he doesn't. But don't tell people how to think. Dude, man, that's controlling. Okay? Do you think it would make more sense for the owner to make his own contribution in his own name rather than under the Magic name? So you don't really think then, Tone, that a business has a right to make its own decision, and the DeVos family has had business relations with Disney and with Florida and in that community for the last 45 years? And because it's the DeVos family who was in the Trump administration, that's why they're doing this. They're not doing it for any other reason. Because Michael Jordan makes contributions also to Republican parties and Democratic parties. That's the right thing to do. Okay? No, I got it. Tone, I'm not attacking anything here. But again, it's agenda stuff. Let me move on before somebody starts crying. And Tone asks the right questions. Here's what I would have done, Tone. Actually, I would have given a $50,000 contribution to Ron DeSantis. Then I'd have given a $50,000 contribution to Joe Biden. And then no one cries. That's what I would have done. Remember, what does Michael Jordan say? Hey, Republicans buy shoes too. That's what I would have done. Okay? That's what I would have done. I would have donated to both so that no one could say shit to me. Okay? Right. Because hey, here's why, Tone, you do that. You know why? You sell tickets. You're a business that sells to the public. Okay? I don't give a Hey, you guys ever watch Straight Outta Compton? When Eazy-E is watching all those rednecks break his albums and CDs and shit, they're lighting them on fire. And Eazy-E has the greatest retort on all that. Damn, man, they're burning our stuff. They're burning our shit. He goes, I don't care what they do with it. They bought it. I don't give a shit what you did with them. Hey, they still bought them. That's the answer. That's the answer. Hey, I don't give a shit what you do with them. They bought them. Right? Yeah, man, I find that it's a slippery slope. It's maybe more what I'm saying. I told you how I would have handled it. Okay? Playing both sides just makes everyone mad. Got to pick a side. No, you don't. I sell tickets, JM. I'm not a political arm of a political party. I am a vendor. I don't give a shit if a Republican or Democrat or independent buy my hamburgers. I could care less. I'm here to make a profit, not a point. All right, let's move off that bullshit. Should I do the Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott one first, or the defenses? Which one should I? I'm my own man. I don't have to choose anyone's side. That's the problem with the world now. Everyone cares about sides, right? I care you're a good dude. Hey, honestly, I don't support assholes. Okay? I don't care what you are. Actually, I like people with conviction. If somebody believes in something so strongly, that to me, I know who that person is. I got more respect for that than a guy who waffles and lies. You know who said that? Malcolm X. Okay. By the way, Malcolm X, one of my favorite politicians in history. Man told the truth always. And another guy was murdered for it. Malcolm X is my favorite politician. All right. Should I do the Jalen versus Dak? Or should I do the top defenses? Which one do you want? Which one do you want? Dak. Do top defenses first. Lull him to sleep, then wake him up with a water. Jalen versus. Yeah, I know. Everybody wants to see where we're going with this. Nah. Let's get the blowtorch out first. We're going to do the blowtorch. So, because you guys were talking to me about the greatness of Jalen Hurts' season. SZN. That's all it is. Versus Dak Prescott's career. So, I thought I'd take a look at that and kind of break it down a little bit. Now, obviously, the sample size is almost doubled. So the numbers are going to look skewed, but we'll read through them here a little bit. And we'll look and see where they are in their careers. Jalen's been in the league 3 years now, correct? 45 starts. Dak's been in the league 97 starts. So again, the numbers are going to be skewed. So I'm not going to go, well, look at this. This guy's thrown for this more. That's not where I'm going here with it. So follow along here if you can. And if some of you need a vomit bag, you're excused. Completions. Dak's got 2185. Jalen's got 648 and 1,000 attempts. Dak's got 3,200 attempts. So in 45 starts, Jalen Hurts has 1,000 attempts. Okay. Not a high number. It's not what he does. My point is that when you got a guy with 3,200 attempts and 2,100 completions, he throws the ball. That's who he is. That's not who Jalen is. Now, how many people believe that Jalen Hurts will be asked to throw the ball 550 times a game or a year? How many times do you believe that the Eagle offense will morph into being a team that throws the ball 550 times? I do not. 61% of the attempts and targets went to two dudes. And if you look at the catch radius and the catch numbers from the guys after those two, what does it tell you? He ain't spreading the ball around. Jalen Hurts doesn't spread the ball around. Then again, that's not the offense. Jalen Hurts is not a progression reader. He throws to two dudes. All those other big throwers that throw the ball 600-700 times a year, they could have as many as 9 targets. So, again, he's going to be more of the dual threat guy, obviously. And Dak is always going to be the better passer. Dak's the better passer. Now, again, who's the best quarterback in the NFC East? Or who's the best quarterback coming off last year? You could hey, I think both debates. I think you could win the argument on both of the comments. So, Sills, would you rather have the better career or having a guy coming off a great year? It's a great question. I'd rather have a guy coming off the great year. That's not a turnover machine like you're making him out to be. That's not true. 166 touchdowns to 65 picks. Where do you see that as a turnover machine? Where in the world do you see that as a turnover machine? That's almost 3-1. Where do you see him as a turnover machine? It's a Philadelphia made-up lie that he's a turnover machine. He had a bad year. He's not a turnover machine. His numbers don't say that. 166 touchdown passes to 65 interceptions is not a turnover machine. The most he ever had outside of last year was his first year when he threw 13. He's not a turnover machine. That's a lie. That's a lie. He's 66.6 completion percentage since he's been a starting quarterback. Jalen 62.3. He's a better and more accurate throwing quarterback than Hurts. You can't say anything other than you're right. But Sills, you're only going off 1 year. Exactly. What if he throws for 70? Right. Yes. But what if he does? Right. Yes. Yes. Dak throws bad interceptions at key moments. Michael? Yes. But not against the Eagles. Matter of fact, he has ownership of the NFC East. Let's take a look at that, for instance. What's Jalen's record in the East? They split with the Giants in 2021. Split with the Cowboys. No, Cowboys swept them. In 21, did they split with the Skins, or did they sweep them? I know this. In 22, you swept the Giants, split with the Cowboys, and you split with Washington. Four and 2. Hurts is 9-6 in his career. And Tone, do you know what Dak Prescott is in the NFC East? (27-7). So he's 27-7 in his career in the East. And he's a turnover machine, and he's 8-3 versus the Eagles. I don't know what you're talking about here. I don't know what you're talking about. Last 2 years, Jalen Hurts 22-8-0. Dak Prescott, last 2 years, 19-9-0. Ten and 2 versus the Giants, 9-1 versus Washington. Wow. And you're 2-2 versus Washington in the last 2 years, correct? Washington, a headless horseman. Overall record, Dak's 61-36. Jalen's 23-11. Where is Hurts is 3-2 versus Washington? Let me ask you this. Where's his turnover machine here? Where's the turnover machine? He's 27-7 in the NFC East. He's 8-3 versus the Eagles. He's 166 in touchdowns to 65 with more of a sample size than Hurts. And you're calling him a turnover machine? I don't see it. Hurts is 4-2 versus the Giants. It's a good start, man. What's he versus Dallas, Tone? What's Jalen? He's 2-2 versus Dallas? No, he's not 2-2. They swept him the year previous. And this last year, they were 1-1. So he's 3-3, I believe. I think, Tone, does that sound right? 3-3? Because they swept him his first year starting. And this last year, they went 1-1. So that's 3-3, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Because they did sweep him. Oh, wait a minute. No, he got hurt. That's right. He got hurt. He didn't play in that. That's right. You're right, Tone. He got hurt. He didn't play in that game. Gotcha. Actually, I'm talking more about it. These guys versus the teams that they're playing. But that's okay. Okay. Just thought we'd look at this right here and go, so you really want to hold to that you think Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback? Or hey, if you want to say this to me one more time, Sills, he's coming off a better season than Dak. You totally win that. But if you're trying to tell me that this guy here has not dominated the Eagles and the NFC East, and he's got a long way to go before he's in that conversation with what Dak's career has done, I mean, he hasn't. Man. It's not close. And like I said, one of the things that I said, I want to see Hurts do it again. Okay? What's his dominance got him? That wasn't the question. What's the dominance got him? What's the dominance got him? What's the dominance got Jalen? A silver medal? Okay, he's got a silver medal over Dak Prescott. Congratulations. You got a silver medal. Okay, that's something. Like 500 and I say, can't compare the careers. All you can compare are the last 2 seasons when Hurts was a starter. Okay. Last 2 years. By the way, I did that. The year previous, Dak threw 37 touchdowns and 11 picks and 4,500 yards. Last year was not his best year, obviously. So I don't know. Do you think he's more of the guy he was 2 years ago or last year? I know who the Eagle fans think he is. The Eagle fans think he's last year. And you think Jalen's last year. That's fair. That's okay. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'm just trying to bring some perspective in here to you guys. That's all I'm doing here. Dak had a better 0-1 and Hurts had a better 0-2. As far as I'm concerned, they're 1-1 against each other. And giving Jalen the nod because the team went further. The last 2 years. If I had to pick the guy over the last 2 years, in my opinion, I think Hurts has been better team-wise the last 2 years. Statistically, depending on how you want to have that argument, it's been Dak. Dak's won that. However, I mean, Jalen's been to the play. I mean, both Cowboys have put 2 12-win seasons back-to-back now. Okay? Let's see here. 37 touchdowns he threw 2 years ago. Okay? You can't compare Hurts to Dak. Hurts is on a rookie contract. Brandon, you're right. Then stop doing it and telling me he's better. You're right. You're right. Hey, you're so right. Okay. I don't know how much this is going to get better. I wrote down. Greg goes, I'm so happy and content that we have Jalen Hurts as our quarterback. You are 1 year. Okay, yeah. Sills, we need a QB ranking. No. Not till the start of the first week of the season. We're not going off of Elliott Spitzer, Pauly Shore stats telling me Jalen threw a pick today in practice. Who cares? Do you really care Jalen Hurts threw a pick today? Seriously, let me ask you this. Jalen Hurts throwing a pick in practice, does that change your opinion of him? I mean, does it? Does that change your opinion of him? Dude, please don't say yes. Holy cow. He could throw 7 picks. I wouldn't give a shit. I don't care. I absolutely don't care. How many times have you seen teams go 4-0 in the postseason? And you go, wow, that team may have a... And then, didn't the Lions team... Am I right when I say this? The Lions team that went 0-16, didn't they go 4-0 like in the postseason? Then they put up a goose egg 0-16? Didn't they do some shit like that or something? Like I was like, okay, well, you know, I don't really give a shit about the exhibition season. Okay? I don't care. Okay. Here are my top 10 defenses in the National Football League. Are you ready? Before I do this, where do you think the Eagle defense should be ranked? Training camp stats are meaningless. Off-season talking points, just like preseason Eagles got killed by Dolphins in 02 preseason and turned around and made the bowl. Can't put too much stock in off-season. 1,000% true. Niners 5th. Top 5. 15th. Most American, look at all Eagle guy lie to you and says most of America thinks Hurts is better. But Sills and Cryboy fans, well, let's see. CBS didn't have him in the top one, in the top 50 players. Who else? The NFL doesn't have him on the 25 and under all league team. Who else? When you're promoting, all the pundits and everyone are talking about Herbert and all these other guys. They don't talk about Hurts like they talk about those guys. I'm the only guy? Really? You might want to take a look at some of the disrespect that people have for Jalen Hurts before you think it's me. Tone has seen the disrespect. It's seen the disrespect. Here are the top 10 defensive football teams. Number 10. I like this group a lot, and I think it's underrated, and I think it flies under the radar. I think the Bengals have a good group. They got a great rush end. I think they got to worry a little bit about what they did in the back end. The kid they drafted 2 years ago to replace Bates, that's going to be a concern. I think the Bengals have a concern at the safety position like the Eagles do. So to me, I'm a little concerned about them in the back end. They got a pretty good defense. And you got to remember something. They go against elite quarterbacks every week, unlike the Eagles. Now, this year, that's different. But they play elite quarterbacks in the AFC and great offensive weapons and teams each and every single week. When you're in the AFC, you're in the varsity league. And they got a pretty good defense. And in the last 2 years, that defensive football team has gone to the AFC Championship and a Super Bowl and won an AFC title in the last 2 years. So you can tell me all you want about the Eagles having a great defense. The Bengals have been more accomplished than you. 2 straight AFC title games, a Super Bowl, AFC title. They did it 2 years in a row. You have not been to the conference championship game 2 years in a row. So you are not as accomplished. Number 9. I think the Broncos have a good group of players. I love Patrick Surtain. I think he's a Fabulous football player. I think they got enough edge rushers there. I think their defense is good. I don't know how deep, but I do believe that when you look at their group on getting after the ball, I think Randy Gregory was good, and it was a good addition coming over from Dallas. Yes, Brandon, I agree with you. Okay, I agree with you. I think they're going to miss Chubb too. I do. I think they're going to miss him. Number 8, even with the weakness up the middle and inexperience, I have the Eagles 8th. You have a force in Reddick. As much as we're not very high on Slay at the corner, still as a duo, you're good. And your inexperience at the tackle position, you're absolutely inexperienced at the linebacker position, and you're completely inexperienced at the safety position. You have limited experience up the heart of your defense. All the way up the heart. The only guy with experience in your look at 11. 11, who's the most experienced guy in your safeties, linebackers, and D tackles? That's the heart of your defense. Who is it? Fletcher? Okay. Who else? Outside of Fletcher Cox. And don't tell me Terrell Edmonds, who was fired in Pittsburgh. It's not a new scheme. They've already told you they're going to do the same shit they did a year ago. Terrell Edmonds? Really? He was fired in Pittsburgh. He was fired in Pittsburgh. You got 2 dudes on your defense right now starting on your team that were fired in places, Morrow and Edmonds. Cowboys just extended safety Malik Hooker with a 3-year deal worth up to $24 million. Zach Martin must be shaking his damn head. Absolutely. He's a good player, though, too. If Hurts has a better statistical season than Dak, you rock a Hurts jersey for a show. Okay, I will. If I can find one to fit. Okay, you said experience, not quality. How about both? I still think, though, with Fletcher, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, and by the way, Jalen Carter. Don't you guys get it? Tone, these guys don't get it. Jalen Carter could get into that New England game, and he has 2 sacks and 2 tackles for losses. You think that changes the game? If you watch that guy and he goes and he becomes a holy terror, and he looks like Quentin Williams. If he does that, your defense is a completely different look. But right now, you have no experience there with that. He hasn't played it down. You got another tackle who's underachieved so far. But you got players on the team, but not up the heart of your team. Think about that. Where have you struggled the most? 2 things, 2 areas on your defense. Don't you agree? Covering backs and tight ends and run game and run defense. I don't know what the hell else to say to you. Those are not opinions. Those are not opinions. Number 7. I think the Dolphins have a heck of a group, and I think they're going to be a good-looking group, especially last year. I think that addition of Chubb, getting him at the trading deadline, and what they have, especially in their secondary. Now, Ramsey's injury is a concern, but he's expected to be there around week 2 or 3, and they're thinking he's going to play, and he is coming off a shaky season a year ago. So there's question marks with him, but the Dolphin linebackers and defensive line, their secondary is outstanding. They got a really good-looking group there. And They got the guy you wanted as coordinator. But because of the shenanigans of Jonathan Gannon, Vic Fangio is now the highest paid defensive coordinator in the National Football League with the Miami Dolphins. Think about that. You got leftovers. That's not the guy you were going to hire. The guy you were going to hire is now the highest paid guy in Miami. JH1, how he does have to address the middle of the defense. And Wonder Boy Dean is hurt in camp already. JH, I want to know if he can play and if he's durable. And my opinion, I don't think he is. But we'll see. Number 6, I got the Bills. I think Von Miller's the key to this thing. I like Leonard Floyd addition to the defense. Sean McDermott is a good D coordinator, and he's going to be doing the play calling on the defensive side. In the AFC over the last 4 years, the best defense and top-rated defense, according to Pro Football Focus, has been the Bills. And I think it's a good group, but Von Miller's the key to this. They've got to get guys on the ground, and they got to get home for them to be effective, in my opinion. And I think Tone is coming around to this. Okay? The Bills' defense has been destroyed in the playoffs. Who, by Joe Burrow and Mahomes? You were destroyed in the second half. Your defense was destroyed. Down 10, you're up 10, and couldn't stop the Chiefs? Give me a break, guy. Give me a break. Like I said to you before, the only reason the Chiefs aren't still scoring, the clock ran out. I think Tone may be with me on this. I think the Patriots have an elite group. Look at how many guys they have on that defense that can get home. And they get home against quarterbacks on a weekly basis. They got 2 great edge rushers. They added the kid Christian Gonzalez. Their linebacking core is good. They're a little undersized, I admit, in the secondary. But they got an elite group. But that's not a shocker. They have been a good football team and a good defensive football team for 25 years. The problem has been offense in New England, not defense, playmakers. Who are the playmakers? Had nothing to do with their defense. Nothing to do with it. Their defense is a good group. Number 4. I got the Commanders. They're stacked. Jack Del Rio does a great job as coordinator. He really does. Best defensive line in the NFC East is in Washington. That's not a debate. What does Chase Young look like, too? Can you imagine that if Washington gets Chase Young 2 years ago back, what they're going to look like? I'll say this to you about Washington. If they can get any kind of play out of quarterback, here's 2 things to think about with Washington. They could be sneaky. If the quarterback position plays, I don't know who that is. If the quarterback position plays and gives you points, and Chase Young returns to what he did 2 years ago, they're going to be a problem. They were a train wreck at the quarterback position last year, and they were still 8-1, and they were a train wreck in ownership. They got, how about this? Dotson and the other kid at wideout, Antonio Gibson, running the ball. O-line's improved. They just need to score some points. So wait, look at All Eagle. He thinks he has a better O-line than Washington. Mm. There's not a person with any brains in football who thinks you have a better old defensive line than Washington. Nobody. You think you got better defensive tackles than Washington? And a better front seven? Where in the world do you think that? Again, drug testing for many of you in here today. Number 3. I got the 49er defense. And like I said, here's the difference. Here is the difference. Okay? Why the 49ers defense is better than Philly's defense. Just in the heart of the team. And then you add the defensive player of the year on the perimeter. All the things Tone and I talk about in premium positions, you don't have. Well, you have edge rusher. Okay? They've got 2 outstanding tackles in Armstead and Hardgrave. Fred Warner is going to have an even better all-pro year because he's got better plays in front of him now. And when you combine that with the defensive player of the year as the edge rusher in Bosa, that's an incredible front seven. Then you put the all-pro safety Hufanga back there. So in your entire – look at this. You guys think you have a better heart of your defense than what San Francisco has? You think you have 2 better tackles. You think you have a better Mike line. But what's crazy is some of you in here probably think you have a better Mike linebacker than Fred Warner. Okay? Nakobe Dean's better than Fred Warner now. Is that right? What safety is with Hufanga? Greenlaw is outstanding. You got Greenlaw and Warner, and you have Morrow and Dean, and you think you're better in the middle of your defense. Tone's right, man. Serious drug testing's needed. 49ers have an outstanding group. They got all pros everywhere. Now, again, the corners, they can be beat, but that front seven gets home. And now get this. Now you've added 11 sacks to Nick Bosa. Hey, Niner, how many sacks did Bosa have last year? Was it 16? So now you add 11 and 2 guys. Now you got 27 sacks and 2 guys. One interior and one. And by the way, Hardgrave's numbers are going to go up because he's in a lesser division. And the 49ers held the Eagle offense, the high-powered Eagle offense last year to 260 yards in total offense. You're lucky they had to play Christian McCaffrey at quarterback. I'd like to have seen that game. Again, it's part of it. You took him out, you killed him. Don't cry in. That's what hey, that hit by Hassan Reddick, good for him. That's why you pay him $15 million. He's a game-changing player. Well, game-changing players do that. Okay? So wait a minute. Bosa had 18.5 sacks last year? And now you're adding another 11? Holy shit. Woo! And you got Fred Warner and Greenlaw at linebackers and the top all-pro safety. Number 2. I got the Dallas Cowboys. They got a better coordinator than you. They have the best defensive. Is Parsons the best defensive player in the NFC East? He could do more. He could do more than Reddick, but Reddick, what he's asked to do, he's the best at. It's a different conversation, isn't it? Because Reddick is better at what he's asked to do. But Parsons does more. Who's more important? And who's the better defensive player in the East? Parsons may be the best player in the NFC East, but isn't the best pass rusher. That belongs to Reddick. Can you split it up like that? Because what's impactful? It's funny. Every time I watch Hassan Reddick against the Dallas Cowboys or Washington or anybody, I see him. When I watch Michael Parsons versus the Eagles, I never find him. I don't see him. I don't see him in any of the games. Probably not, but we make our own rules. Parsons is probably the best defensive player in the NFC East. I'll go there. He is. I think he's overhyped, though. I think he's overhyped. Reddick has more of an impact. I'll tell you this, knocking out the quarterback in the NFC title game is one of the absolutely greatest plays in the history of Eagle defense. I mean, that play got you to the Super Bowl. Of all the plays that were made in the NFC title game, would we not agree? That was the most impactful play that got you to the Super Bowl. And hey, I don't care if you make a touchdown pass, a touchdown catch, a touchdown run. I don't care what you say, an interception return. That was the most impactful play in that NFC title game for the Eagles. I don't even remember San Francisco getting past the 50-yard line, do you? I don't remember them getting past the 50-yard line. And the number one defense in the National Football League. I got the Jets. I love the addition of Will McDonald, too. Putting Will McDonald on that team, Quentin Williams, linebackers are good, corners are great. You got a hell of a defensive-minded guy in their head coach. Boy, I'll tell you something. 2 years ago, that Jet defense was an absolute shit show. And in the matter of 2 years, they've turned that thing into the best group in the National Football League. Okay? They got the best defensive group. Dallas adding Stephon Gilmore, too, on the other side. Personally, I'll make this point to you. Stephon Gilmore is a better player than Darius Slay is. I'll say it again to you. He's a better player. And Diggs to me, I know, hey, which you know what's crazy, Tone? I don't think Diggs is that great a player. I don't. I think he gambles too much. I think he gambles too much. I don't like. Do I think Bradbury's better than Diggs? Here, Bradbury is not as spectacular as Diggs, but I think he's more consistent of a ball player than him. And I'd rather have Bradbury because I think he plays within the scheme, and I think he plays within the guardrails. Eagle, name me one thing that Darius Slay has done in his career that has been better than Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore, one more time, is going to be considered for the Hall of Fame. Where in your right mind do you think Slay's been a better player? Where in your right mind? Unbelievable. All you got to do is read a resume, guy. It's not that hard. Super Bowl champion, NFL Player of the Year. This guy was a top player in the NFL as a Defensive Player of the Year. Have you ever had a corner Defensive Player of the Year in your entire organization? That'd be a no. So don't talk to me about cornerback play. You make it sound like you've had a corner that was a Hall of Famer like that. Crazy talk. Guy's a 5 or 6 time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, player of the year. Give me a break, guy. We will talk to our friend Philly Godfather. That will be at 5:30 Eastern. Looking forward to that. Do not forget also, this year, you guys are getting Big Sills out of the Dan Cave. And I rarely do public appearances. I'm not kidding. I really don't. But we're going to be doing them this year. We're going to be at the King of Prussia. And the Hooters and our relationship for 35 years has been spectacular. We so look forward to it. You know, again, like I told you guys, you know, I knew the original founders, Ed Drotsky and Bob Passwater and Denise Williams. And now Phil Moran, the owner of the KOP Hooters, has invited us into his building each and every single week to be able to put on a great show for you guys. And we'll be doing our show live from there. I can't wait to do it. If you're going to do your preseason football parties, make sure you make a call. A lot of tables are being reserved now, and they're limited. Your fantasy drafts, great place for that. Hot wings, world famous Hooter chicks. You're going to love them. Tuesdays, buy 10 wings, get 10 boneless wings absolutely free. 1983, all you can eat on Wednesdays. That's been a 40-year tradition that goes back since the start of Hooters. Happy hours are sensational. $6, 6 items. How can you beat it when we're talking about one of the best environments? The place was jammed the other day watching Browns and Jets when it came to preseason football. 240 North Gulf Road in King of Prussia. The Hooters is there for you. I can't wait to get there this fall. And when you go to Hooters in King of Prussia, do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you.